Well, the one thing not a lot of people talk about when it comes to end of decade stuff is probably the best music videos. Seriously, this decade I feel like the music videos kind of got a lot better, to be honest, than like the previous decades. Well, in my personal opinion. Well, again, depending on people's personal opinions, either the music's gone, well, quality-wise gone bad or got better, or just nothing really defines that decade that much. But nothing can compare to the music videos. So, this is what I'm kind of going to do. It's top 10 music videos of this decade, in my opinion. We're doing this in one rule. Just one video per artist. Because otherwise it's going to be a top 10 MA3, top 10 Kanye West, or top 10 Caravan Harris music videos. So, just keeping it one per artist. Also, before honourable mentions, the videos are linked in the description below. But anyways, the honourable mentions: Faded, Alan Walker, Try, Pink, When the Party's Over by Billie Eilish, Call Out My Name, The Weeknd, Satin Bars by Gorillaz, Firestone by Kygo, and Sign of the Times by Harry Styles. And at number 10, it's I Took a Pill in Ibiza by Mike Poisoner. Man, that music video was some really trippy stuff down there. Well, because, I don't know, he took a pill in Ibiza. Duh. But what really stands out from the music video is its cinematography and its color scheme choices, where there was like one or two shots where it's just completely blue, and the rest of it is just mainly just blood red. Like the color scheming, the lighting, and particularly when it's reflected off the extras and Mike Poisoner and his massive big paper mache head, which at best looks really emotionless and pretty freaky creepy. Yeah, it kind of feels this music video is a metaphor for like drug usage, but don't take it from me. I'm just kind of interpreted this really bizarre and just really adventurous music video where it would go into that territory of drug usage, since he often like stands like this, that just beats like still like a statue. I think this is what kind of drugs kind of do to your system, where you feel you kind of like zone out or freeze, and while the whole world around you is just dancing, having time their lives, and you just there like your whole reality kind of shatters all around you. But I really did like the design of this of his big paper mache head, which kind of looks like something out of Wallace and Gromit if it's more rough, to be honest. It kind of feels like, I think that's kind of a metaphor. It makes you feel more of a rough person, drug usage. But all in all, although it's a great music, if you it came from music, but an even more, somewhat more provocative music video. Number 9 is Caravan Palace for Lone Digger. And yes, we're going to animated territory, but still not kid-friendly territory. When the last one was mainly about drugs and how it can distort your reality, this one takes place in a furry strip club. Yay! Kid-friendly stuff. No. Well, but anyway, by any means, I like that it's animated and the animation is gorgeous. It's basically three cat furries that are better looking than the Cats trailer. Go into a strip club and find some dogs which they really do not like the look of, and look really hesitant, and more hesitant. Than when milk spills, it gets crazily gory at best. Like blood like splatters everywhere, and people like clawing out everywhere, and people get ripped in half. Like, oh my word. Is this what an R-rated remake of Zootopia would look like? If so, I am already in. Like, an R-rated movie of that? I can't want to watch it. Oh wait, it exists. It's Lone Digger. Although I am not an animation expert, but I really did like the character animation, even though it doesn't look like it's budgeted out like a feature-length film, it still looks pretty realistic, even though they all look furries. Yeah, I think, imagine it with humans, it kind of looks kind of really generic, but with animals, it kind of adds like a more cartoony flair to it, and it kind of, at best, looks like a graphic novel. Like, it could be like straight up adapted into an R-rated movie. Like like Sin City, Akira, History of Violence, or the recently Joker. I can legit see that as like coming out of a comic book. Number 8 is Elastic Heart by Sia. Okay, this is going to be the last video I'm going to be touching on controversial topics. Because this one was accused of, no, it wasn't accused of being set in a strip club, it wasn't accused of drug usage, but it was accused of pedophilia. Yes, this video understandably horrified a lot of people when it initially came out. Well, a couple of commentators that wanted to be a dominant view, but you can tell, but I don't. But like I said, this music video is featuring Shia LaBeouf and Maggie Ziegler. It's just so gorgeous, even though it's kind of the card scheme is plain and it's all just set in one room and being a cage. It's kind of, a lot of things kind of bounced around my head. It's obviously not what a lot of commentators say. It's like, oh, pedophilia, ew, no. I was kind of thinking, like, was this Sia's childhood by any chance? Was there like any domestic abuse? Was there like childhood trauma she suffered into? And was it any Stockholm syndrome or any sorts? Or was her childhood by any means difficult? Like this, I just watched it. I kind of had a lot of avenues of where it could go, like which direction could be interpreted. Particularly the chemistry between Maggie Ziegler and Shia LaBeouf, they really do bounce off each other with these big facial expression and these big dance moves. They're pretty much like somewhat expressing Sia's opinions, not exactly opinions, but possibly her childhood, because I don't know like lots into her, but this movie, I think, well, this music video, I apologize, kind left me like a lot of avenues of what could this mean. Like you can interpret it everywhere. It could be theorized. That's what I really liked about it. Not just the casting, not just the beautiful choreography, not just the great song, but just how many ideas that are floating around my head when I was watching it. For number 7 is Somebody I Used to Know by Gotte. Gotte, the artist of, okay, he's a one-hit wonder, but for this music video, he's all covered in like mostly beigey, brownish and greyish paint, shattered apart like glass, and sings about his relationships. Yay, it's a breakup song, but kind of an intriguing one at best, because if you notice in the background, it kind of looks like shattered glass. When a relationship falls apart, it metaphorically is like shattered glass. It kind of, I got that idea, it was sprung in my head when I watched the video. I was like, ooh, okay, yeah. And of course, there was the featuring artist who sang her version of what happened. It's a more of a he said, she said, kind of more of a unique take on a breakup song. Then at the end, he gazes at him while she loses all her paint. It kind of might be symbolizing like the relationship could be rekindling, or could further go downhill, even though they'd broken up at that point. It's not like Elastic Heart, where there's so many avenues or theories and thoughts that could go anywhere. This one kind of has one, an intriguing one at best, and how they creatively worked around that idea of a breakup, rather than just they went wrong, like having music videos set in like a cafe and they broke up, or they literally like looks like an art installment or like an art museum. It doesn't go into like cliche territory like this is the bench I broke, like film it like in a bench or somewhere, or somewhere online like a cafe or a workplace, but what kind of looks like more of an interpretive piece. It kind of, I swear it must be like an art project. If so, I hope they aced it. If so, it's a really gorgeously visual music video. Well, in terms of visuals. Number 6 is Kendrick Lamar, Humble. I really wish I could have gone with Alright from his album To Pimp a Butterfly, but I was sticking to one artist per entry. From his album Damn, which included DNA, this one went really energetic, like really fast, and went really into your face. Like the editing was incredibly speedy. The editing was edited like it was on speed or something. and it had a lot of different environments, like on the street, under the bridge, and reenacting the Last Supper, and in a church of some places. Like he was somewhat incorporating a lot of his things, a lot of his ideas all in one, like his lifestyle in Compton, and his religious belief as a Christian, and his life and his possible life in the gangs, and it kind of had everything in it, to be honest. Like has some pretty amazing artistry imagery, like all the bald heads shouting humble, which kind of at best looks initially weird at best, but once you look at it, you kind of appreciate some of this unintentional beauty that is behind it all. Like I said, the camera work and editing were literally on speed. Like the camera would be like like it's like dotted around him, like woo. I was like woo woo. Then it kind of gives the music video a bit more of an energized, bit more of this speeded up feel to it, and as well as one moment where the camera was I don't know how to describe it. It kind of like whoop, I don't know what it is, but it just looked so cool. Ooh. Like, whoa, this music video is nothing more than just whoa. It's in a whole new world of whoa. I don't know why, but rap videos, even if it's mumble rap, they should incorporate these like really over the top editing and cinematography crafts that Kendrick Lamar implemented in this video, Humble. Like, it can't just be like showing your cars off, can't be just showing your pool, can't be showing just your mansion. It can like show your place where you worship. It can just show your city, even if it's a drained up river. It can even show many things like your gang you probably grew up, you probably went around with. It could even be anything. This could show that rap videos can be somewhat more rather than just generic. Number 5 is Kanye West Runaway. Wow. Really? Kanye West went full blown arty on us. Well, before he made literal revenge porn, which is famous, he made was considered by a lot of people as the greatest albums, if not 2010's, being My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasies. I would have gone with music videos wise, All the Lights or Lost in This World, but it had to be Runaway, just how iconic it was, since I swear loads and loads of effort was gone into this music video. Although the version I'm going to show is an 8-minute version, but the full version is half an hour long. Seriously, if you thought The Irishman is like 3.5 hours long, this one well, not just the song itself goes half an hour long, just the whole album music video. Yes, this full version of this music video is basically just certain songs from his album injected in. It's basically Kanye West secretly befriends a Phoenix girl who is going to burn at the end of the film. And man, in this particular part of the film, she sits down for dinner and invites some guests and has a piano in the corner of the room, and ballerinas come in and do these interpretive dance moves, which is really intriguing at best, and particularly with its use of camera cranes and its beautiful cinematography. With references about like Frederick Fellini, Stanley Kubrick, as well as musical films like Purple Rain, Pink Floyd The Wall, and Michael Jackson's Thriller, 3 of them often considered one of the greatest pieces of musical film ever made, and he certainly outdid himself at that. Well, to be honest, the 2010s were a very interesting decade for Kanye West. He was married to Kim Kardashian. He announced he was supporting Trump in the election, which really ruffled a lot of feathers. He met Trump, which ruffled even more feathers. And he made probably the best marathon track being Black Skinhead in his album Yeezus. His controversial album being Life of Pablo. And his really gritty mental health album being Ye or I Hate Being Bipolar, It's Awesome. And also goes into his religious background in Jesus is King, even though apparently not a lot of people were huge fans of that. But safe to say, it's been one hell of a ride, and one hell of a life it was for Kanye West. Number 4 is David Bowie for Lazarus. This video was only released just only a wee days before his untimely death, but man, this one post just punched like really emotionally. Mainly, it's separated in like two parts. One where he's desperately trying to write new material even though death is literally stalking him, and him in his deathbed, completely blinded. But what I really like it extremely, not just of its really grey cinematography where everything like greys away and fades away when death comes, but its aspect ratio, like it's literally like something like a third of the screen's like completely missing. I think it's kind of a metaphor, like death is closing in and there's nothing you can do about it. Like you can't really extend the aspect ratio. I thought it's kind of a music video that I think it is so emotionally impactful since it was released just wee days before his death. But also that it kind of has a lot of visual metaphors, particularly about David Bowie's health. Like I said, outside the aspect ratio and the aspect of death literally stalking him, and there's also another character who could be easily symbolized as death, but we never knew who he was. I think that's a weird thing in life. We never knew what death is until we see it firsthand. Of course, it is. I think what really sold it is the part where he tries to write new material, even though death is like stalking him. Where he like got some idea, but his arm literally trying to linger back to the closet, but he still wants to write more. It kind of symbolizes that he still wants to write, even if he dies. Well, like I said, it was a really good way to send off one of the most impressive careers in music history. And we can say thank you, David Bowie. Just thank you, not just for this video alone, but for what you contributed to music. Number 3 is Childish Gambino, This Is America. When it was released on the internet only like last year, I think, the internet blew up. It wasn't due to the gun violence, particularly when he shot a man in the head, made a metaphor meaning of the Charleston church shooting, but just how much was in the screen all at once. Like, I think it was made just to distract you. Like, I think it was also Childish Gambino's full-on commentary on meme culture. Like, this was obviously going to be memed from the start. Like, there's like loads of memes about This Is America. I think that's the entire point. We become so distracted of what we're doing, we're dedicating a lot of our time to meme culture. And also, if you've never noticed this, but it also appeared to be it also gives the impression that it was like filmed all in one take, like Russian Ark, Birdman, and the upcoming 1917. Where it's edited and shot so smoothly and so subtly that you swear it's been done all in one take, like the entire music video, which kind of like grabs your attention a bit more easily and captivates you. And also it has a lot of meaning, particularly on police brutality in America and racism, particularly when he's wearing slavery era pants. And also the video made visual references to the Jim Crow laws. And also something a little bit more subtle, when he's holding a gun and staying silent. He stayed silent for 17 seconds. Also around the same year, I think, in Parkland, Florida, where there was a shooting that killed 17 students and started the major movement of March for Your Lives and stricter gun laws in America, or Action for That. Which really packed a punch if you think about it. You can easily rewatch it despite the violence and the distracting nature of it, and still the message is still there. But what could I say? The cinematography is beautiful, the editing is done to give you the impression it's all done in one take. The acting of Donald Glover is brilliant, particularly in his exaggerated facial expressions. And of course the song is catchy. And at number 2 is Avicii Tough Love. Man, this music video is just gorgeous at best. Mainly it was started off with 2 beautifully choreographed dancers in some rocky beach, I guess in Sweden, because Avicii is Swedish. and it feels like the chemistry is like burning so deep and going so well until there was like a whole gang of like dancers and like red suits and blue top and blue jeans. I mean yellow top. It's just how iconic the clothing choices are, and how lush the cinematography is, and also how great the locations were. And I think what made the music much more impactful is not just that it's a beautiful song that I could play over and over and over and over and over again without feeling too numb or bored about it, but this was from Avicii's final album, Tim. It was released pompously after he died a year ago, a year before the album came out. At best, what I can describe it, it's kind of like a spiritual remake of Praise You by Fatboy Slim, the music video by Spike Jonze, where there's no real plot to it, but it's just a group of dancers dancing. But this time it feels bigger, more fleshed out, and has a bigger budget, and has somewhat more structure to it. The music video, we spend like most of the music video with these two dancers dancing together in this rocky beach somewhere, and they conflict and they fight and they dance each other. It's like the chemistry bounces off each other. Like the chemistry is so there. Then there's like a whole array of dancers, which makes the music video somewhat more meaningful, somewhat more magical, and what I can say is a visual treat for my eyes. And my favourite music video of the decade is M83's Lower Your Eyelids to Dive with the Sun. At first, it may be a really lengthy, slow-paced music video of a couple involved in a car accident that fall through this dark void abyss, and the car shatters apart in front of them, and of course there's something about, and of course it goes into the galaxy. It may sound a bit really pretentious and really slow and sluggish, but this music for me is art to its peak. It's beautiful, it's cinematography, and it's all set in this dark abyss. Kind of made it somewhat more special, even though it has not got even 10 million views. Even though it's an epic 8-minute long music video with no lyrics whatsoever outside of this heavily choir, which kind of gives it a lot more of a grounded feel, just to make it a lot more epic, just to make things so glorious. Outside of some gorgeous cinematography and being inter-edited with some crash test footage, and some beautiful setting which is just nothing more but void, its title somewhat intrigued me the most. Lower Your Eyelids to Dive with the Sun. Sounds like a cool artsy name, but let's think about it. It's from the same album, Before the Dawn Heals Us, that has Car Crash Terror and Don't Save Us from the Flames. I think M83 in that album, Before the Dawn Heals Us, is going on the theme of car crashes. And going on this idea of Lower Your Eyelids to Dive with the Sun, and particularly this is the final single in the album. I think it's the end, of course. It kind of goes on the idea that the universe dies when you die, and kind of goes on this really bizarre, really out there theory that that I had in my head, like like the universe being born when you are born, and the universe crashing down when you die, and particularly with these two, they appear to have died in this brutal car crash. But at the end, we see the celestial stars and galaxies and some sort of supernova, like the whole universe is being formed. Like, is this kind of like a reincarnation? Like does everyone have their own universes for some reason? Is their universe dying? Are there like gods or something? Did this god die, and the universe he is now finally created in this perfect vision? Kind of just bounces off of so many ideas, some really celestial at best, some really gorgeous, and kind of bring a tear to your eye. Like, it is one of the most beautiful things ever. Like, I could watch this all day. Like, the slow-mo just is the butter on my toast. It's that gorgeous, and some beautiful shots that you swear should have been on Instagram. All in all, number one, my favourite music video of the decade is MA3 Lower Your Eyelids to Die with Sun, with its beautiful cinematography, slow editing, beautiful slow motion shots, and quite a lot of celestial meaning, and some really deep, at best, thought-provoking ideas like the galaxy dying when you die. But this is Elijah Wells, and bye!